Hey guys, I hope that everyone had a nice weekend. I am Perry,
And I'm Dennis.
and welcome to our weekly market recap session, where we will discuss this week's market movements and events and that of the upcoming week. Let's start our session by diving into our market overview. So let's first take a look at the total liquidations of this week. If you look at the total liquidations that happened on Tuesday, the 13th of December, we can see that almost 31 million longs versus 101 million shorts got liquidated. This happened while Bitcoin finally made a push above the daily EMA 25 and even managed to break above the daily EMA 50 level. This is showing us that after almost 2 weeks below the daily EMA 25, people were aiming on a rejection below this level. Possible support test at the higher end of the support zone at around 16.3k. The push further above the EMA 50 level managed to push the price towards the 18k resistance level. A lot of short orders got placed around the EMA 50 level, but more about that further down in this session, which triggered an even bigger liquidation hunt on the shorting side. After the liquidations of the shorters above 0.35 golden pocket level at 17.6k, we saw the price reject at the resistance zone, which is placed between the 18 and 19k. After declining below the 0.35 golden pocket level again, the price got catch up by the EMA 25 level, which is acting as a support. Here people were expecting a possible bounce back up from this level, which was able to hold as a support the entirety of the Thursday. While the price did manage to bounce somewhat up towards the 0.35 golden pocket level on Friday, it had not enough momentum to push above this level and got rejected and pushed back down towards the daily EMA 25 support level again, which it broke down below, all the way back down below the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement level. Now, if we take a look at the total liquidations again, the 16th, we can see that on Friday, 206 million longs versus almost 16 million shorts got liquidated, which confirms the fact that people were actually expecting that bounce on the EMA 25 level to be much stronger than it turned out to be. So now by looking at the volume and volatility sheet here, we can see that the following days, both the volume and the momentum dried up, showing pretty much no movement at all this weekend. The possibility of testing the EMA 25 level at resistance again could be a scenario to look out for next week. Though if the shock of the dump holds people back from buying, then we are likely to push back towards the support between 16.3 and 15.6k again.
Yeah, and of course, all the volatility reflected in the Bitcoin dominance chart as well. We looked at it in the past recap and we were expecting some bullish momentum. Well, Bitcoin dominance showed that bullish momentum in the past week with a pump going to the 18k level and a market-wide dump we saw after that. It kept on pumping because of the suffering on altcoins this week and showed weakness across on basically all altcoins. This caused Bitcoin dominance to spike even more. And chart-wise, it's at an interesting spot right now. It's trying to take out the previous high and start a serious uptrend from this point. With the weakness Bitcoin is showing, this doesn't bode well for the crypto market as a whole actually. And if we look at the Tether dominance chart, we're seeing that the big sell-off on altcoins this weekend resulted. It successfully retested the previous weekly high at 8.05%. And it looks like it wants to continue the uptrend as well. Market-wise, it's concerning that traders are keeping their stable coins on the side, even in a week where Bitcoin hit a high of 18k. And after that, even transfer more of their holdings into stable coins. If we flip 9% for support, then we will see Bitcoin heading for new lows.
All right. So now let's take a look at today's flow charts again. Looking at the daily buy flow chart here, we can see that only about 125.8 million worth of stablecoins has been flowing directly into Bitcoin today, which is very underwhelming amount as the average daily buy flow towards Bitcoin is somewhere above the 1 billion. The top performing altcoin here, let's take a look here, is BNB with an inflow of 173.3 million stablecoins flowing into it. And by looking at the daily sell flow chart, we can see that about 1 billion worth of stablecoins is flowing into Bitcoin at the moment. About 1.6 billion worth of altcoins has been flowing back into stablecoins again. This altogether is showing us that the majority of the market is playing it safe until after at least the weekly close. Until there is a little bit of a clearer view of the market direction.
Yeah, and that's the view on Bitcoin for now. And we're going to look at the global market recap. And like we pointed out in our previous recap, as an example, the indexes SPI and SPX both lost their uptrend and last week and started to dump heavily over the past week. The stock market reacted heavily on the news that further interest hikes will be taking place over the next year. With the Fed given the prospect of enduring tightening of their financial policy. This all resulted in an extremely bloody week on the stock markets, which dragged Bitcoin down as well. Fear of an ongoing recession fueled this big sell-off on stocks. For now, stocks are seeking for a new low time frame bottom and reversal zone. But the macro structure is still bearish, with the most recent dump only confirming this direction on the markets. Until economic data starts to show positive signs again, I'm expecting stocks to fall even further in the coming months. On the other side of this, the DXY chart rallied off the worse than expected economic data and the ongoing hikes of the interest rates. It's now trying to break out of a downtrend it started at the end of September. For that to happen, it has to take out the current resistance zone at the high at 105.82. And we all know that if DXY turns bullish again, it's extremely bearish for stocks and crypto going into 2023. But in this sea of red, there was a little green light. And we're going to discuss the top altcoin gainers of this week, or rather, one glimpse of strength in this big sea of red. The only coin in the crypto top 100 by market cap that was green was the TON coin, and that's really interesting. So we dug a little deeper into that, showing a pump of almost 28% on the weekly. Yeah, you all can see that it really stood out in this week of complete Armageddon on altcoins. The reason behind the pump was an announcement of integration into Telegram. The founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov, announced that users can use the TON token to buy anonymous telephone numbers to log into Telegram. In addition to this, telephone numbers can be stored onto the TON wallet, transferred between users and offered on an anonymous marketplace. For an example, some telephone numbers that are listed for auction right now are currently going for more than $100K in TON coins. So absolutely one to watch in the coming months.
The current market outlook for Bitcoin in the coming days is to push upward above the 0.236 Fibonacci retracement level to test the daily EMA 25 as resistance. Here we could either see the price breakout towards the daily EMA 50 and 0.35 golden pocket level at around 17.6k. In order to do that, we will first need to close above the daily EMA 25 level at around 17.1k and flip it into support. And able to climb above the EMA 25 level at around 17.1k will push the price back towards the lower support area at around 16.3 and 16k. From there we could either keep consolidating sideways for a while or even lose the support at around New Year, pushing us further down towards the lower support area at around 12.7k. Another key point to watch out for is a possible downward scenario where we are unable to reclaim above the daily 1 EMA 25 level this week. If this is the case, I would expect the price to move towards the lower support area at around 16.3k and 16k, which should start the first quarter of 2023 in a very bearish scenario. However, let's first wait and see what this week will bring us. So, that's all for this week's market recap, people. Be sure to watch out for these scenarios and tune in this upcoming Wednesday for our midweek market session. In the meanwhile, be sure to check out our Twitter and Discord channels for more fresh market updates and content. Thanks for listening and see you all next week and enjoy your evening.